And now, Forecast First from Color 10 News. Certified by Weather Rate for the most accurate forecast in the Ozarks.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. You've got dry roads in Branson. It is warm and muggy, 79 degrees there right now. We do have a couple of storms up to the north and east in central Missouri. That's been the focus for these storms this afternoon. You've got some locally heavy rain and some lightning near Rolla and headed up towards Cuba coming out of the area. We'll have that storm threat focused to the north through the rest of the evening. Otherwise, it's warm. You still have temperatures near 80 degrees. It is muggy. Dew points are over 70, so it feels real soupy out there with those reds on the muggy meter map. A couple of showers and storms to the north, and you're muggy through the overnight, and it is warm as we head through the day tomorrow. Details on a summery 7-day in a couple of minutes. Color 10 News starts right now.
Now, from Ozarks First, you're watching Color 10 News at 9 on C.
You know, standing in the face of racism and being like, we done with it.
I'm from the South, and down there it is our heritage. This is not for hate.
A variety of demonstrations unfolded in the area today, putting a spotlight on different issues, with things ranging from tense, passionate protesting to peaceful displays of unity as well. Good evening. I'm Jesse Inman. We have a number of things to get to this evening. In Springfield, a march in honor of Juneteenth. We bring you the sights and sounds of a reflective celebration there. Also, Me Too Springfield made a call for awareness when it comes to victims of sex crimes and gender discrimination. We'll show you how all of that came together. But up first tonight, we begin in Branson, where tensions were high for a second straight weekend. As you saw moments ago, groups gathered to protest Dixie Outfitters, and counter-protesters stood their ground as well. Our Jacob Blunt was in Branson today covering the protest outside of Dixie Outfitters.
We're here at the tail end of the protests that happened today in Branson outside of Dixie Outfitters. Now we're getting close to when it was scheduled to end at 3:30. We want to show you some things that we saw today.
Shut them down! Black Lives Matter! White life matters!
Tensions were high today as protesters in support of Black Lives Matter were met by counter-protesters outside of Branson's Dixie Outfitters for the second week in a row. One of the organizers of the Branson Black Lives Matter protests, Larry Flanoid, says they want to see the stores shut down.
Show your face! They closed already. When we showed up, we won. They was closed. Today ain't Sunday. Their business hours are 6 days a week. Closed on Sunday, so they served it. So we've already succeeded in our process.
While some counter-protesters like Drew Tompkins say they have the right to fly the flag and shop at the store.
Don't be calling people racist and telling us to take our flags down. They have their rights, and so do we. They have their background and heritage, so do we. We should be able to fly it free and shop wherever we want.
Multiple people on both sides of the protests were seen carrying guns, and even though emotions ran hot, with protesters and counter-protesters clashing at times, there was no physical violence and only one arrest was made.
And that gentleman was warned several times about insightful words, and he continued, and at that point an arrest was made for the peace disturbance.
The protests went on for over 4 hours, and Branson PD reports that it topped at 155 people. Chief Jeff Matthews says the protest went well. Today went as good as could be expected. The protest group that was here, their message, they wanted to get it out. They've been very cooperative with us. We had a plan in place, and that plan came through.
Juneteenth, it doesn't have to be acknowledged on that day. You know, it could be a week later, a month later. You know, it's something that we're going to celebrate regardless.
Last week was Juneteenth, a day that celebrates the end of slavery in the United States. Springfield was going to have a celebration walk last Saturday, but because of the weather, it was rescheduled for today. Our David Chazanov shows us tonight that the celebration could not be bound by a date on the calendar.
Well, today's Juneteenth Freedom March starts from City Hall going all the way to Washington Park. It's a 30-minute walk, but it's one big party, as you can see right behind me.
In my belly, I'm just so happy that we can come out here and have a lot of time together. You know, it's everybody, every race, every age. It doesn't matter. United community. United community.
Jamia Jones organized the walk.
We stopped at the City Hall. We stopped at the Judicial Courthouse. We stopped down Commercial Street. Every stop that we took was a way for the individual to imagine and put themselves into the body of the enslaved African American who had to take that walk and make many stops to find out exactly where they were going to settle and finally be free.
The idea is that because of them, we stand today, and we should always hold this day up high.
Christine Peoples led dozens of people in prayer about unity and love.
We must unify and understand that the next generation, that's why we're here, so that they won't have to go through the same things.
Peoples says she was encouraged by today's turnout.
Look how amazing that they are. This is family. Look at this. I mean, this is where it's at. We want family and we want community to be secured for the next generation. So we have to bring it back. And bringing back community, we stand together for the whole.
After the walk, people gathered here in Washington Park for some guest speakers, musical performances, and there was also a tent set up to get people registered to vote. Reporting here in Springfield, David Chasnoff, Ozarks First.
And of course, Juneteenth, normally celebrated on June 19th, and it marks the day that the final slaves in the United States were freed all the way back in 1865. Also today, Me Too Springfield sought to raise awareness to those who are affected by sexual assault with a hashtag #MeToo motorcade. Several members of the group met today, and they wrote facts about sexual assault on their cars and took a drive around Springfield today as a way to get their message across while keeping supporters safe and distanced. Vice President and Treasurer of Me Too Springfield, Kelsey Nickel, says normally they would hold a rally, but they had other causes in mind as well.
We had planned this, and then with all of the Black Lives Matter movements happening, we wanted to give them space and give them their voice, and so we made sure to kind of make this fit that. So we covered our cars with messages saying that we can only fight sexual assault if we also fight racism.
Nichols says they plan to have a fundraiser event coming up in the fall. And we also have new information tonight. A homeowner shot and killed an intruder during a break-in late last night. The Springfield Police Department has identified the intruder as 36-year-old Kenneth Clay from Springfield. Now, according to SPD, the break-in happened at the residence of an 18-year-old who said he shot the intruder with his own firearm. The homeowner also suffered injuries and is in the hospital, those minor injuries there. Around 10:30 p.m., officers arrived on the scene on North Fremont. No arrests have been made at this time, and the investigation is ongoing. If you have any information about this incident, you are asked to call the police or contact Crime Stoppers at 417-869-TIPS. Well, coming up, Missouri will be requiring interviews for food stamps once again. We will let you know when to expect them next. Also, what you have to do to win a free movie. It's not that hard. We'll tell you what you have to do coming up.